On Tech 360, a very special conversation today, but I'm going to start with a revelation. Build for India and then scale for the world. You know who told that to me? My guest today, Dr. Manish Gupta from Google DeepMind. Another revelation to you also, by the way. This exact same notebook was in my hands when I last met you. Look at the number of notes you made me write. And again today, you are responsible for this also. But chota sa good news also, it's not too many questions today. Welcome to Tech 360.
Thank you.
First and foremost, for all the non-tech people, Google is not just a word on smartphones. There is something called Google DeepMind. So tell everyone what Google DeepMind does.
So Google DeepMind, it was founded with this vision, solving this problem of artificial general intelligence. Because if you go back a few decades ago, all of the AI models were being built for specific applications, narrow vertical applications, which they would solve very well.
True.
But there was that kind of a vision that ultimately these AI models should have this artificial general intelligence capability, which is able to think and reason like a human across a very broad range of tasks. So it was started with that vision. And today the mission of Google DeepMind is to build AI responsibly to benefit humanity. And I find it a very inspiring vision. And being in India, where so much of humanity lives, we take that humanity part very seriously.
Correct.
So our team does a lot of work to make these models, develop these models in a manner that will scale to support billions of people, right, in an energy efficient manner, that will support interactions, usage by people speaking different languages, that will understand different cultures of the world, that will solve problems faced by, let's say, farmers who have not been as touched by AI. The learner in the remotest corner of India or another part of the world. So our team has been very intentionally focused on making AI work for everyone. And we feel that in that process, when we build for India, when we build for the challenges that India poses, we are able to then take those solutions, right, and scale them to many other parts of the world as well.
We've been following AI, so I know what you're talking about. You sometimes make it sound like artificial grand intelligence, but I'll come to all of it one by one. First and foremost, Gemini 3, it's here. So let's just have a brief discussion about it. How far ahead is it from Gemini 2.5 Pro, let's say?
Yeah, so with each model, we try to take a leap in terms of the capability. So of course, one of the areas in which people have really commended Gemini 3 has been this multimodal capability, not just ability to deal with text, different modalities, voice, images, and even video. Because we humans, right, we perceive the world through these multi-sensory perception,
correct.
right? So how do we empower AI models with similar kind of capabilities that they're able to interact with people through the richness, right, of different forms of media. So that's one. Then also Gemini 3 has very strong coding capabilities. Because today, sometimes it's a barrier, right? So many problems in the world, they don't get fully addressed, tackled, because it's the amount of, let's say, work needed to develop that software to tackle those problems, right? It's a very daunting challenge. Now, models like Gemini 3, right, are making it much more viable for you to be able to build. Yes, accessible, as well as the speed with which you can develop solutions is like unprecedented. And finally, I also want to talk, while we often care a lot about all these models like Gemini 3 for some of the kind of so-called real world applications, that they care about, one thing which is very important for us to kind of continue to keep in mind is this whole scientific discovery that can be accelerated by AI models. And again, Google DeepMind has been at the forefront. So last year's Nobel Prize in Chemistry, right, was one sign of how this whole protein folding problem, which has been a grand challenge for the entire research community. It used to take an entire PhD to uncover the structure of a single protein. And now you can do it in a matter of minutes or seconds. And now that team has made predictions of all 200 million proteins known to humankind freely available. So we have so many now millions of researchers across the world, including over 180,000 researchers right here in India, using that protein database to tackle problems like today we had in the audience Dr. Chandrasekhar, who's using that to design soybean crop to be disease resistant, and of course drug discovery, making plastic degradable. And I mean, life science is just one of many areas in which you can apply AI for materials, for clean energy. All of these areas, AI can kind of really lead to seismic shifts.
Correct. No, so you seem to have chosen these three areas specifically: health, education, and agriculture. So why specifically these were chosen to start?
These are some of the fundamental societal challenges that we face, right?
Correct.
These are basic human needs. To really empower each person, right? To be able to really live their life, right, with dignity, and to do to realize their true potential, right?
And to be able to contribute back to the society
and back to society. Every person must be able to learn, right? So that's a fundamental need. And likewise, people have to be healthy. So these are basic needs. And then like agriculture accounts for like over 40% of India's families are dependent on agriculture for their livelihood. And these areas have not been as touched by AI. So we really found it very inspiring, the movement by the government of India through the Ministry of Education to set up these centers of excellence in AI. And we have been working with many of these institutes for years, like supporting their faculty with research grants, supporting PhD fellowships at these universities. So today we like took that to a higher level, right? By both announcing some of these major grants to these institutions, and of course beyond those grants also our commitment to partner with them to bring some of our AI technologies, right? So that is where we are bringing this full stack approach. We are bringing our foundational model capabilities, which are truly very powerful and provide an extremely powerful starting point, right, for anybody to build real world solutions. Then we are working closely with these partners to enable them to solve real challenges. And finally, we are empowering them to scale these solutions to scales, right, that India really requires, right, and deserves. And once you again scale them in India, you can then scale them to so many other parts of the world.
Might I just add to people who are going to be searching for Christmas looks via Nano Banana, there were some 35 million TB screenings by the Khushi Baby initiative. That's through AI. 98 million more rural visits possible by AI powered tools, and these are in villages, not tier 8 tier. That's through AI. 390 billion rupees could possibly saved in healthcare. That's also through AI. So don't just be using AI for Nano Banana images and all. There's so much more that AI could do. You were talking about this, the full stack approach. Might I just shed a little light on that?
Yeah, so that full stack approach is we first and foremost bring these very powerful foundational model capabilities. So like we have these Gemini models, we also have these Gemma open models.
Correct.
And then there are variants like MedGemma, which, so for instance, we have made the MedGemma model available to researchers from AIIMS and startups to start building models, right, for various like skin conditions where it's very hard, for instance, in rural areas, right, for people to have access to doctors who have that capability, that specialization. So we are working with, again, these innovators, right, in the community to start building models for these real world problems, right, on top of these very powerful foundation models, right, which we provide as a starting point. So that's the foundation. And likewise, we have made like Gemma model available to many of the startups like CoreOver, Gyani.ai to build their own LLMs and solutions on top. In fact, the startup Sarvam, earlier we had mentioned how they used our Gemma 3 model to provide a single model that does translation across all 22 scheduled languages of India, right? So that's the power of the foundations that we bring, right, to the table through foundation models. And then we work with these partners on helping them build solutions for real world problems, right? Be it, let's say, this like screening for various
Tuberculosis,
diseases. Earlier, there was work on screening for diabetic retinopathy.
Oh, yeah.
Today, there are startups showing solutions for agricultural use
Correct.
cases based on our landscape understanding and event detection APIs,
Yeah.
through which we are able to identify field boundaries, identify crops being grown.
Yeah.
So there are these ecosystem players, partners, right, who are solving real world problems that we collaborate with. And then we are also helping them scale these solutions, right, to the levels, right, that are needed for a country like India. So, and that is where also like our commitment through some of the funding that we are providing, our work through, again, underlying technology that scale to support hundreds of millions of users,
Correct.
they are helping.
You guys have already been funding so much of research. Around $8 million were committed to us. I have two follow-up questions from that. I'll just club them into one. These collaborations that you were talking about, so not just with the government, not just with other corporates, for example, the very important collaborations with researchers, academicians as well. So is like that data feeding your models and making it more and more powerful, more and more usable and scalable at that?
No, a lot of our work in supporting academic research, it's about not for our models, it's for the world at large. Because we really provide these as gifts to faculty to support their research, right? And contribute all of their research back into open literature, open data. So a lot of the work that we do is then goes back into like public knowledge, right? So that the entire world, in particular the researchers, can benefit from all of that. So that we view as the, again, in some sense, the core foundation, that we first need to have those capabilities in fundamental research. And so we are working with Indian educational institutions, right, to strengthen those, support faculty, support PhD students. So in fact, in the last few years, I mean, we have supported the equivalent of at least 1,000 PhD years of research. So we're committed to working with students, with faculty, to support their research, ultimately to benefit, right, the entire research community, the entire world at large, not just Google. We all benefit ultimately, including Google, from that. And then, of course, we also want to don't just stop at fundamental research. We want to then do translation of that research into solutions to real world problems, right? And that's where our partnership with the COEs become very, very important. And finally, to scale, that's where a lot of our work with startups becomes very important, where we are both providing them with some of our foundation models, as well as we are kind of together with them, helping them build solutions that will scale.
I think Seshu's analogy fits well. Everyone is bringing these bricks, but not to build a wall, but to build a pathway so that everyone walks in.
Yeah.
Let's bring this to India then. That Indic language support is very important, because India is, I don't even know how to count how many cultures, how many languages, how many different food habits. So that Indic language support is very important for you guys?
Yes, absolutely. So, and I'm very proud that we kind of never even stayed confined to the 22 scheduled languages. Because India has hundreds, in fact, over 1,000 languages, right? And so many different dialects. There's this saying, "Kos kos pe badle pani, char kos par vani." So every 4 kos, our voice is changing. So that inspired this Project Vani, where we have been collecting speech data from different corners of India. Already, through the data that we have made freely available to all researchers, this already covers close to 110 Indian languages. For at least 35 of those languages, this is the very first speech data, documented speech data for these languages. For at least 22 of these languages, this is the first ever digital data known for those languages, first ever digital data available to AI researchers, practitioners. So to us, it's been very heartening that we have seen startups like SandLogic, Shunya Labs create their models for various Indian languages, voice-based models. So it's not just Google. It's very heartening, wonderful to see kind of so many different partners, right?
Yeah.
Taking advantage of that data to build truly inclusive solutions, right? Which will then they will power those personalized tutors, they will power, let's say, an information system for farmers, they will power healthcare.
Right.
Because, I mean, we are literally seeing today, right? Solutions being deployed where you could be in a clinic where the patient is having that conversation with the doctor in their native language.
Yeah,
and
telemedicine,
there are AI-powered solutions that that transcribe that and provide you the starting point of an electronic health record. So there are startups which are providing such solutions.
I am a coder whose village did not have internet 5 years ago, but today I can code in my mother tongue. What does that statement say to you? Not Manish from Google. What does that statement say to you, Manish?
It tells me that the future is bright. If only we can set our minds to it, right? If people can take inspiration from you, don't be just a user of AI.
Right.
Be a developer, be a contributor,
Right.
where you are not just using technology,
Right.
you are contributing to technology. You're using technology to solve real world problems, and aim high.
Right.
Do not be afraid of failures. Tackle some of the biggest challenges that we face as society that you care about passionately. Build those solutions. It's okay if you fail.
Of course.
Eventually, those failures
Yeah.
are going to be the stepping stones to success. Do not be afraid, right, of setting those big challenges, and you will make a difference, right, to so many people around you.
True.
And I would like each and every Indian, right, to have that kind of a
Approach towards it.
approach, and India is going to be a global leader.
I think that segues perfectly into the line that was spoken on stage. Don't make it too hard so that people don't want to learn.
Right.
And don't make it too easy that people, again, don't want to learn. So I think that segues perfectly. But one last question, is there a way that it can be made much more easier, like let's say have an agentic workflow so that it does everything and we don't have to do everything at all?
Definitely, AI solutions are becoming very, very powerful.
Right.
But I think the real magic comes when you combine that power of AI with
Yeah.
human ingenuity, with that human curiosity.
Right.
And you're able to then, with that power of AI, you're able to solve.
Sorted. Thank you so much, Manish, for this time that you've given to us. Such a pleasure always having a conversation with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Likewise.